guys, and welcome to my channel, Kel Stitches. Today is the 1st of January 2025, so Happy New Year to everyone who happens to be watching this video. It is Wip Parade season, and that is exactly what we are here for today. I am doing my end of year, start of year, whatever you want to call it, Wip Parade, where I will show you all the progress on my projects that I have made in the last 12 months. So I would just like to say thank you to any existing subscribers that have popped in and to see me once again, and thank you very much to any new viewers that might have found this video just because it is a Wip Parade. I hope you enjoy seeing the projects that I am stitching on, and I hope you will continue to stop in and check up with me every now and then, or whenever I post another video in the new year. Alright, so just a few bits of unfinished business from 2024. I never done my last Flossmas video. I kind of got stuck and caught up in Christmas Day festivities and all that stuff. I might have had quite a few margaritas. I think I managed to get through half a bottle of tequila on my own, so I think that was a pretty good effort. And then Boxing Day, we were just chilling out, just relaxing, doing nothing as usual, and then we went away on the 27th, done a day trip on the 27th, and then it just sort of kept rolling on that I never really had an opportunity to do my last Flossmas. So what I'm going to do, I have not opened these yet. I'm not going to worry about the hot chocolate or the fairy floss because they were just fun little bits that I done. So I am going to open these two. This is the last one from Sharon, Fun with Cross Stitch. So they are wooden floss drops. How many we've got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. There's 10 wooden floss drops there, which are very handy. I love these little things. I am going to buy, I think I'm going to buy more off Temu, and yeah, eventually move all of my floss onto the little wooden ones. Throw that over there. And so this is the last one for Silk, last day for Silks for You. Most everyone's probably already seen it because everyone else opened it on the day that I was meant to open it. Throw that one over there too. So it is another thing of silk. Looks like a full hank, and it is this wee. Look how shiny that looks, but it's not. It's just because the ring light's behind me. Well, all behind the camera, I should say. So it's this lovely green. It's probably showing a little bit darker than what it actually is. That's a little bit darker than what it is in person. No, I'm not going to. So a hank of floss. Alright, so that is the unfinished business of 2024. Let's just get into my Wip Parade, shall we? I'll have a drink first. I got this as my Secret Santa at the Christmas party. So it's a drink bottle. It's got my name on it. But that is a picture. Move that ring light. Let's see if it stops shining and everything. That is a picture of my horses back when it was flooding. So that's Charm and that's Ruby, and yeah. So one of my colleagues, and I know who it was because she's the only one that would probably be clever enough to actually pull this photo off my Facebook page and get it put onto a drink bottle. So I am very happy with that. I have taken it with me to a couple of the national parks that we went to. Alright, and now we will get into the Wip Parade. So I am just going to, I've got them written down in this. No, first of all, I have cleaned my two whiteboards. but I will put a picture up. I'll put a picture up of the small full coverage and non-full coverage board first. As you can see, I didn't get any more stitches into those projects, but they have all reached their, all of them reached their 5,000 goal, and then majority of them reached the 7,500 goal. So that is that one. And then I will put up the full coverage board here somewhere. As you can see, I did get to stitch on those last 3 projects and push them over the 10,000 mark, which was my goal. So I reached all my goals for this year. Yay! So that is a great achievement, I think. And for the year, I done, where is my total? Not there. So for the year, I done 200,490 stitches over the 12 months, which I think is quite an achievement. Obviously it's not as much as what some people get, but I think cracking the 200,000 stitch mark is quite an achievement. If I was just a monogamous stitcher, that would be one decent size, like medium size full coverage, or a couple of small full coverages done in the year if I was a monogamous stitcher. But I'm not a monogamous stitcher, am I? So yeah, I'll stick with the small finishes that I get. And looking at my statistics, which I've got written there, that's how I track my stitches on a daily. So I will, where am I? Just randomly, I will just write down the project that I have worked on and how many stitches I've got for the day. And then I will just go back to the front of my diary and write the daily stitches down in here. Now these marks, these stroke marks, are the days that I have not worked on. So obviously my stitch count would have been a lot higher if I had have worked every day, but there's quite a few days there that I didn't work, I didn't do any stitching, but that was because of birthdays or holidays, like going away to concerts and stuff like that. But looking at my statistics, because then I will go and add all those numbers up and see how much I've stitched for the year. My 2 best months were May and August. I got over 20,000 stitches in both of those months, nearly 21,000. Both of them got 20,700. One got 20,760, one got 20,750. So they were my 2 best months. And my 2 worst stitching months were November and December. So in November I only got 11,340 stitches, and December I only got 11,740 stitches done. So yeah, they are my stitch count stats for the year. Rightio. Now I promise 8 minutes in and we are going to get into showing the stitching. I am just going to, I've got all my whips in this book. I'm just going to go as I come across them, so if there's finishes and stuff, I will show you them when I get to them. So now some of these I haven't completely filled in. I haven't completely filled in the finish dates on some of these, but I did finish them in this year. Rightio. So the first one is, and you're going to have to apologise because I don't have these in any type of order, so I'm just going to, there we go. And I did not take any of them out of the hoops, but it's going to be easy enough to do as well. Alright, so the first one that I'm going to show you is, cover page must be here. Sorry, I thought I was organised. I'm obviously not as organised as I thought I was. Alright, so the first one is this one. So I just call it Dreamcatcher. It is a Chinese stamped kit. I think I'll try to put the name and the count, fabric count, across the bottom of the screen here when I edit. So this is Dreamcatcher Chinese stamped kit. It is on 11 count Aida. Now, just get that out of the road. Now it's just come, all of these are going to be wrinkled because I'm pulling them straight out of the hoops, the Q-snaps, the nurge frames as I'm going. So I apologise if you don't like wrinkled fabric. But so this is where I am up to. This year, I can't tell you, actually I could tell you how many stitches I got on it, but okay, I'm back. So I got 5,400 stitches into this. I will put up a picture of where it was at the start of the year on this side, so you can see the difference. So yeah, 5,400. This one's a little bit slower going because I don't enjoy it as much. As I said, it's 11 count and it is this satiny floss. It is a little bit hard going. Even with using thread conditioner, it can be very hard going. But that is project number 1. I can't give you a percentage or anything like that because I'm just going to throw them on the floor, because it is obviously a stamped kit and I don't have the percentages for it. Alright, the next one that I'm going to show you is, go over there. This one. Alright, so trying to remember where it was at the start of the year, but anyway, the one that I have been working on is the Jackrabbit. So there we go, is the Jackrabbit. So I'm working on, this is the A Year in the Woods series from a couple of years ago from Cottage Garden Samplings. I am currently working on the Jackrabbit. I am nearly finished him. Exciting news. It came out that they are going to be doing a new wood series coming in June. We do have to wait 6 months for it, but that's okay. I actually can't wait. Might give me a chance to get a few more of these little critters stitched. But this is what it looks like currently. As you can see, I'm doing them all together on the one big piece of fabric. It is 18 count fabric that I dyed myself. I think it was, trying to remember, sunshine orange and brown, some type of brown that I use to dye this fabric. So they are looking really good. The Jackrabbit does look like he's nearly completed. Oh, he's completed, but I've just got this little bit in his foot down here. And then I can move on to the next one. But I am using all the called for fancy flosses, so the Weeks Dye Works and the Gentle Arts. I am using all of them. And yeah, it is looking really good. I got 9,460 stitches into this project this year. I can't give you a percentage because I am doing them all together, but there is 1, 2, 3, there's 4 nearly completed and there's 12. So you could say I'm a third of the way through, so about 30%, 33% of the way through this project. I am classing this as one project because I am doing it all on the one piece of fabric, and it's all one series, so I'm not doing them separate. I am thinking that when the new one comes out, I will just do the seasonal like this one, you had the choice of doing them all together, doing them individually, or you could do the three animals for the seasons on one piece. I'm debating that I might actually do that with the new series, is just do the animals for each season on their own, like as separate ones. And that was whip number 2. Let's see, what are we up to next? Next one is one of my finishers. So, probably don't really need to show you the front cover, but I will. There it is. Alright, so my next whip, it was this one, which is Sans Souci. Alright, so my next one is Sans Souci by Long Dog Samplers. That is the completed, what the project looks like. And this is actually the fully completed project. So I will obviously put a photo next to it to show you where I was at the start of the year, but I have finished it. This was stitched on 18 count, just white Aida, and it was using Silks For You PR001, which is the purple, and PR147, which is that variegated teal. So yeah, that is completed. Now I got 9,460 stitches into this, and obviously finished the project. So altogether, Sans Souci has 24,252 stitches. And it is looking amazing, or looks amazing, I should say. It is, yeah, it was a great project to stitch on. It was very fun. It was easy to stitch on. So that was project number 3. My next project is, what bag is it in? Pretty sure it's this one. So my next project is Moonrise Song. It is the large version. It's charted by Artistic Cross Stitch, and the artwork is by Abraham Hunter. That is what it will look like when it is completed. Now, I don't think, yes I do. I'm not going to take it completely out of the Q snap because it doesn't really need to be, but this is where I am currently up to with it. So I'll put a picture in, obviously. I'm not going to get too far. I'll put a picture in, obviously, next, like this side over my face, to show you where I was at the start of the year. And yeah, that is amazing. It looks amazing. I am currently working my way across to finish off this side, and then I will go down and finish all this off. I can come back across here, and then I'm thinking I will go to the bottom and finish across halfway, and then I'll work my way back up. But yeah, Now that is, look at that wolf, and you can even see his little breath from a little breath of hot air in the cold air. All this colour up here is just one colour, so when I do get around to stitching on it again, it will be very easy just to fill that in. Now, for the year, and it's being stitched on 16 count Aida. Now, most of my fabrics are Aida, that's 16, 18 or 20 count. I have got a few kits in with 25 count, and I probably will buy some 22 count as well. But currently they are just all on 16, 18 or 20 count. Alright. For 2024, I got 10,900 stitches into Moonrise Song. I am up to 14.44%. And that means I am 32,637 stitches out of 226,050 stitches. So I do have quite a ways to go. But a lot of this over this side is just all background and the sky, which generally the pages only have 4 colours maximum in them, so I should be able to smash through at least these pages up here a lot quicker. But that is Moonrise Song. Fold it back up, I'll put it back in its Q-snap when I get around to stitching. Shove it all back in the... I am going to be putting everything back in the project bags as I'm going, so nothing gets mixed up and I don't get too confused and I don't have such a big mess to clean up. Alright, so the next project is this one, and it is looking. So my next project is a Daydream Sea Turtles. Charted by Charting Creation, and the artwork is by Sheena Pike. And that is what it'll look like when it is completed. And again, because I'm on the corner, I just have to, yeah, I'm going to have to off this one. And we are there. Let me just try to, there we go. So that is where we are up to with it so far. Always wondered why people held their whips up like this, and now I completely understand, because you can't hold them up high enough if you don't have your hand over your head. So that is where I'm up to. As you can see, I am working up in this far corner where all the leaves are and everything, so that is the edge of the project, and that is the very top of the project. Now, I got exactly 10,000 stitches into this year, and that brings me to 16.16% of the project, which means I have done altogether 26,804 stitches out of 165,900 stitches. So yeah, that is looking really good. Those, look at the colours in those flowers, that's amazing. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off this page, and I am just going to work across and back down to and work in all these pages, and then I'll probably go straight across the fabric. It is quite a large piece. Go straight across the fabric and get to the other side and do that, and that way I'm probably about 50% done, and then we'll head down to the bottom of the project. But that is going to be a ways, quite a while away, isn't it? So that was, I've lost count of my whips. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's whip number 5. Okay, my next whip is another finish. And it is this one. Now, I was calling it Tribal Wolf. This is from an Etsy store called 2x2 Stitch Art. I don't know what she called it, but I was calling it Tribal Wolf. That is the completed project as it looks. And as I said, I did finish it. And it is a fully finished project because I made it into a tote bag. This is stitched on 14 count, yes, 14 count blue Ada that I got from Paddy Glen Designs. And it is stitched using Etoile 823, the whole thing. So I got 8,560 stitches into this project this year, and that brought me obviously to 100% for a total of 18,768 stitches. Yeah, that looks really good, and I'm happy with the way that it turned out with the tote bag. I did put handles on it, very big handles, but I put handles on it. And I just aligned it with some satin fabric. I am going to try to make some more tote bags as project bags, I think. I just have to work out how to do it a little bit better and neater than this one. And I like the fact that it's got Velcro rather than a zip. I know some people don't like the sound of zips, but some people don't like the sound of Velcro either. So that was whip number 6. The next whip is not that one. This one I'm pretty sure. Yep. I have written new tags to put on all my bags as well. I just have to laminate them and put holes in them and put tags, because some of them have fell off, and I can usually pick what project is in what bag, but sometimes I get a little bit confuddled with them. So just having them in, like with a little tag on them, is a lot easier, especially if I'm sitting on the lounge and I ask the partner or the son to grab one out of one of the baskets. They don't know what I'm talking about, so if there's tags on them, they can just easily get them. Next project is this one. It is Mini Shaman. Artwork is by Laurie Prindle, and it is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And that is what it will look like when it is completed. This is in an urge, so I'll just pop it out of there. I've been using a little bit of, we call them chucks here in Australia, just some chucks on certain parts of an urge to try and, of course this is the bigger one, and they do seem to be a little bit loose, so I've been using a little bit of cloth on a couple of the sides just to try and tighten it up a little bit. Alright, there we are. That is where I'm up to with it. How good does that look, even for a mini? It looks amazing. I know a lot of minis tend to lose detail, but that's only if there is a lot of detail in the piece, like your Amy Stewart bookshelves and stuff. Never do those in a mini. You will never get the detail in a mini in those as what you would expect. But this one is amazing. I'm pretty sure that Alara is doing this one as well, but she's doing it in a normal size, and she's up in the left corner in all pink. But this one is, yeah, this one is mine. I stitched 10,100 stitches on it this year, which brings me to, nope, that is not the right one. Page flipped over on me. There we are. Alright, rewind, let's go again. I stitched 11,110 stitches on it this year. Brings me to 37.89%. And that gives me 26,597 stitches out of 70,200. So it is only a smaller piece, and this is being stitched on 16 count, so that is the size of it even on 16 count. Like, that would fit into a normal frame if you wanted to frame it yourself, and that's the mini. So that's going to be very easy. I actually am looking at some of my other finishes. I'm going to measure them and get some frames from Spotlight and just frame them myself. And then I can swap out my Bengal tigers when every time I do, if I get some framed, I can just swap out that every time I do a video. But that is my mini shaman, and it is looking amazing. I really do love this project. Well, I love all my projects. I haven't even been telling you to start when I started them, but I'm working on them. Who cares when I started them? Right. That was that one. Now we are going to this one. The next project that I'm going to show you is this one. It is called Protector. The artwork is by Katie Lipscomb and it is charted by Pain Free Crafts. I was gifted this chart and I decided that I would get straight on to doing it rather than allowing it to sit in my stash. So that's what it would look like when I get around to completing it. This one is also in an edge, so let me just pop it out, whack the edge back into the get in there, back into the project bag, and just fold it a little bit so it's easy to handle. Alright, so that is where I'm up to with it. Now I have omitted the background. There is a lot of white, creamy sort of coloured background, and obviously I have taken that all out and not stitching the background because I am doing it on this apple green fabric that I dyed myself. It is a 16 count and I just dyed it. I just very quick dye bath, I just plonked it in and pulled it out, and that's the colour it came out. It's probably a little bit darker than what I really wanted, but that would have also been my fault for probably putting too much dye in the bath. But I've done a couple of other pieces of fabric at the same time because there is a couple of other patterns of Katie's in this same style that I have got, and I want to do them all together. So when I get around to fully finishing any of them, I can just either do them all together in a wall hanging or just do them in individual frames, but display them all side by side. Anyway, that's not going to be for quite a few years anyway, so getting ahead of myself. So it seems like I am quite a bit ahead in this one when I read out my statistics, as I said, because I have taken out all that background. But I did get 10,100 stitches into this year, and that brings me to 71.17%, and that is a total of 69,126 stitches out of 97,125. So just under 30,000 stitches left in this. So probably another 3 years if I keep only getting 10,000 stitches a year into it. But yeah, it looks amazing. I only got a little bit up here to finish off, a little bit up in this section here to finish off, and then I will move over. I think I'll move over this way. But that was a whip number 8, I think. Who knows? Can't remember. Alright, so the next one that I am going to show you is this one. Now, this is my Happy Mood Point sampler, or Happy Mood Point project. It is Quaker sampler SS187. It is from an Etsy store called Happy Mood Point. I think they are actually now called Daily Pattern Post. But I restarted this one in the middle of the year because I wasn't happy with what I was stitching on previously. Now, I can't remember how much I got into the first one, but I will show you. This is how far into the first one I was, and decided that I didn't like it anymore and I was going to restart it. So I did restart it. That one was being stitched on a 16 count hand dyed pale blue fabric that I dyed myself, using all petite treasure braids, and I was going to do some beading on it as well, but I got sick of it. I was running out of petite treasure braids, and I would have to order more. And I wasn't really liking the way it was turning out anyway, so I restarted. And I restarted on 18 count placator. And I am now using Silks for You. Silks for You floss called Fairy Lights, I think. And I am enjoying this so much more. I'm loving the way it's turning out. It is absolutely amazing. But even though I only started on this in, I think it was June or July, and it was the middle of the year when I've just gone, I don't want to stitch on that one anymore, I want to just restart it. So I got 5,400 stitches into this one. What I'll do is I'll put how many stitches I got into that one up to that point across the screen. So I got 5,400 stitches into this restart, which brings me to 32.18%. So I'm a third of the way through it. and that gives me 5,400 stitches out of 16,755. Now I stitch on this really quickly, so maybe, just maybe, that's what, probably about 11,000, just over 11,000 stitches. I may get this done, may get it finished this year. Let's see what happens. And the next one is my absolutely, it's like kids, you know, you probably shouldn't have an absolute favourite out of your whips, but you do. And this is mine. This is my absolute favourite whip that I'm currently stitching on. I love this one so much. This whip nearly makes me want to be a monogamous stitcher again, just so I can get it done. But this is what I am talking about. It is Waterhole Master, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and the artwork is by David Penfound. This is just the regular version. If you want to see this completed, jump over to Jemima, the Rocking Stitches YouTube channel, and check it out. She shows this in her she shows it in her in her Wip Parade as well, but her last floss tube she shows it because she finished it, and hers is just the max colour version. It's not super size, I'm pretty sure it's just the max colour, regular max colour version, and it is huge. I can't remember the fabric that she stitched hers on, but ooh, it's massive. It's not as big as mine, isn't even that big. But sorry, just got to take it out of the merge frame. Off. Put it back in there. Put that in there. And put that in there. Let me fold it up a little bit so it is more manageable to show. So, as usual, I have started in the center. I start in the center of all my projects, but that is where I'm up to. So you can see I've got a good majority of those zebras done. I've got a little baby elephant head down in that right corner. And now I am moving up into Mama Elephant. This is her tusk and the start of her trunk. Her eye comes in here somewhere, and this is her ear. But yeah, I am going to move across here and then back down and finish, get all the pages with a bit of zebra in them done, and then I'll just move wherever else I want to go. Now, I got 10,500 stitches done on this, and that gives me 9.89% of the pattern completed, which is 25,519 stitches out of 258,125 stitches. So, as I was saying at the start of this video, it would be, if I was a monogamous stitcher and getting 200,000 stitches a year, this one would be almost complete. Almost complete. But it's not. But I love it. I really, really do love working on this project. And this is being stitched on an 18 count Aida, just using all the called for colours, obviously, but I am using CXC, so, but that is the size of the piece of fabric. But Jemima's is huge. It really is big because she has to get up and stand back from the camera to show you the whole thing. And seeing hers completed just makes me want to stitch on mine more to get it done. Alright, the next one I'm going to show you is called Shape Wolf. And that is what it'll look like when it's completed. It is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and the artwork is by Greg Giordano. It's just the wolf, it has no background, so it is just the wolf that I am stitching. Now, this is going to be pretty easy to this piece is pretty much the same size. Well, no, it's not, but I don't know why the fabric is nearly as big as Waterhole Master. But anyway. Oh, come on, get your fingers working, woman. Don't mind me fumbling around. Alright, this is where I am up to with it. As you can see, I've got quite a bit done. That's the back of the wolf there. I am heading towards the tail. I am going to get this row of column of pages done, and then I'm going to move back across this way, get a column of pages done, then move back across towards the tail and stitch it like that. This is being stitched on an 18 count hand dyed Aida that I dyed myself in this terracotta. It's showing a little bit browner than what it actually is. It's more of a terracotta colour, this fabric, because it was a doesn't have no background. I wanted a bit of a background on it, like a coloured background, and I think this colour suits it really, really well. Now, my arms are getting sore from holding all these up like this. I got 10,100 stitches into this for a total of 19.81%, and that gives me 25,100 stitches out of 126,707 stitches. But yeah, I am, as you can see, I'm currently working in this section here, which is the snout of this wolf and going down into the back leg of the main wolf. You've got the buffalo, and you've got, and I mean, there's wolves and eagles and everything in there, so I can't wait to see what else crops up as I'm stitching on that one. My throat's getting sore already from talking so much. Alright, so my next project is mini top frog, and that's what it will look like when it is completed. It is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and the artwork is by Jody Bergsma. This is just the regular mini, not the Max Colour mini like Darren, Dizzy Stitcher and Judy, an Aussie and a Kiwi World, both have. Darren finished his, Darren completed his, and Judy and I are still going on with ours because we started them all at the same time as a bit of a stitch along. But yeah, that's what it'll look like when it is done. And I've only got to pop the bottom clamp off to show you everything that I've stitched on. So that is the top of the page. That is the full length of this project. And that is as tall as it's going to get. But that is the center row, or center column I should say, of pages with all the froggies. And this is just being stitched on 16 count Aida. And I got 11,100 stitches into this for a total of 31.35%, which gives me 26,100 stitches out of 83,250. So this is what I mean, if I was a monogamous stitcher, this would have been done last year. It would have been finished in 2024. So it is possible to finish Hades in a year. It is. Just like Darren, he done his in a year. But yeah, that is looking great. And I do stitch everything full cross. I don't do anything 10 stitch unless it is called for in dimensions or anything like that. So that's why I haven't really said anything, because everything is stitched in full crosses. So that's one. My next project that I will show you is Spirit Guides. Artwork is by Laurie Prindle and it is charted by Pain Free Crafts. That is what it'll look like when it is completed. This is going to be a bit... Knew I should have done more arm lifting of weights. My arms are getting sore. Alright, this is where we're up to with it. So, as you can see, as I said, I start in the middle and work my way across. That's the edge of the pattern there, and then obviously you've got the other half on the other side, so it is going to be a big project as well. Some of these are going to be a long-term project unless I can get quite a bit more stitching into it, which comes into my plans. So, which I'll get into those once I finish showing all my projects. Alright. This year I got 10,100 stitches into it, which brings me to a total of 10.77% and gives me 25,592 stitches out of 237,600 stitches. So yeah, I've got a ways to go, but it is looking amazing. That horse and muzzle, the horse's muzzle, especially his chin and everything, it is charted so brilliantly, absolutely amazingly charted it is, and it's very easy to stitch on, very easy. I got 800 stitches into this last night down in that section to get me over my 10,000 goal mark. Because this was the one that I was lagging on the most. I still had 1,500 stitches left to get my goal. But I did, I managed it. Alright. Not that one, this one is in this bag. Now I don't have to, well, yes, probably do have to. Tiger Lily, artwork also by Laurie Prindle, and it is charted by by Pain Free Crafts. It is charted by Pain Free Crafts. This is one of my Crystal Club vouchers. So the Crystal Club is where you pay so much a month. I think it's £13 a month, and then after 6 months you will get a voucher where you can choose a kit off the website, and the kit can be any of the artwork. So any pain-free crafts, I think there's Artisy, I think there's Charting Creations. Not sure if she's got cross-stitch studio ones, but any, as long as it's a kit, because that is what the Crystal Club is for kits, not just for charts or anything like that. So that is what it'll look like when it is completed. Now, I didn't think I was going to have to take this out, but I do have to take it out. Alright. So this is being stitched on 18 count Ada. And that is currently where I'm up to. Look at that eye. Look at it. So this was a new start for this year. So the only start picture you're going to get is a blank piece of fabric. But this is everything that I have stitched. So I've stitched all of this year. And I have done 10,020 stitches on it. And that brings me to a 7.83%. And gives me 10,020 stitches out of 128,000. And it looks wonky because of the way I have folded this fabric. Don't mind the way the fabric's folded. But yeah, look at that. I done these 2 pages first, and I was going to move across this way to start getting some of that background and leaves and all that sort of stuff done on it. But I made the mistake of asking my partner where I should go to next, and he said he wanted to see the eyes come in. So that is where I moved up to, and look at that eye. Look at the detail. You can see a little whiskers coming in, and yeah, that is amazing. Did I say it was, I think I already said that this is on 18 count Ada. But you will see if you haven't watched me before, you will see a pattern in my projects. There will be wolves, there will be horses, there will be Native American Indian, or Native American I should say, and just a lot of animal based, so tigers and African animals, and they are all the ones that I lean towards. So, and you will see I have probably a certain artist that I'll lean more towards as well, Laurie Prindle being one of them. She has some amazing horse art, but her other wildlife art is brilliant as well. Next project is none of those ones. This one. It is this one. It is called Oh Great Spirit. It is an Old Dimensions leaflet. The artwork is by Linda K. Powell. So this is a 1996 leaflet. That is what it will look like when it is completed. Now, because it is a paper pattern, I can't give you a percentage of where I'm up to. But at a guess, I would say I would have to be at least 50% done, but I'm thinking I could be more 60% done, I would be saying, because I've got that top half done, which is very, very stitch heavy. The rest of it down here, a lot of it in the middle here is just all back stitch. So now when I count this, I count the stitches and the half, I count the full crosses, and then the half stitches I count twice to make a full cross. So the stitch count that I give will be for full cross, but it is actually probably more than that if you halved some of it for the half stitches. And I don't count the back stitch because it is ridiculous. But for this year I got 9,740 stitches into this, and that's where it's got me to. And as I said, that is not including all that back stitch in the sun, the mountains, the headdress and the eagle. But how amazing does it look? I can't wait to get stitching on this again. But I would definitely say that one is going to be a finish for this year, because I really don't have that much left to do on it. Next one is this one. I will show you this cover photo, but then I will show you, because I released the full pattern today, and it's got the actual proper picture of what it's going to be. But the next one I'm showing you is the Out of the Savannah sale, which was the 2024 Stitch Along by Cross Stitch for Everyone. That is the cover page that they gave us, but this is the actual proper cover page for it. Give me 2 seconds, just chat amongst yourselves. Scrolling. And so where are we? Oh, there we are. Look how super cute that is. So that is the actual pattern, what it is going to be like completed. It is so cute. Look at all those baby animals down the bottom. But obviously I am up the top because it was just released page by page, and I am only in the top section of it. But no, don't have to take that one off. Silly woman. Take this one off. Pop it in there. And that is where we're up to. So I am omitting all the white background, so it doesn't actually make it 100% full coverage, because there was a lot of white stitching in this. So I have taken all the white stitching out, except for anything that's in the animals. Obviously, if the animals require white stitching, I will do it. But the only, this is a new start for this year, so the only start, previous photo you're going to get is, of course, blank fabric. But that is where I'm up to with it. I have done 10,750 stitches in it altogether. I can't give you a percentage because it was just page by page, and then I would delete the page as I finish them. The only other thing I can do is load the full pattern into Pattern Keeper, which I think I might do. is load the full pattern into Pattern Keeper, go along and do all the pages that I have completed and take out all the white, and that will give me a percentage. But I am not taking this one into 2025 because I am doing the new cross stitch for everyone sale, which is To Catch a Dream. So this one is going to be put to the side for a while, and yeah. So that was being stitched on 18 count Ada. Obviously it's by Cross Stitch for Everyone, and the artwork was by Missy, who is the owner of Cross Stitch for Everyone. The next one I am going to show you is this one. I call it Wild. It is part of a trio that I bought from Etsy from a store called 2x2 Stitcher. I have completed the other two already. This is the last one that I've got to do. And I'm not taking it out of the hoop because you can see the whole thing. This is where I'm up to with it. I got 7,200 stitches into it this year, which has brought me to a total of 54.36%. And that is 7,200 stitches out of 13,208. 208. Why is... oh, no, that's the total. Alright, so if I can get another 7,000 stitches into this, it will be finished this year. And it is using all the called fors except for this here, which I am using Etoile B5200 or Etoile blank, whatever they call it, just to give it a little bit of sparkle. I did make a mistake with one of the colours here. This orange is meant to be a darker pink, but I've already stitched it and I ain't unpicking it, so, and it doesn't look too bad. So, and this was a new start this year, and it is being stitched on a 16 count white Ada, just a little bit of a scrap. You know those square scraps that you get after cutting out a big ass project, and you're left with these little 10 by 10 inch scraps. That's what they're really good, those, and there's heaps of those circle ones on Etsy in all different styles, so I'm sure if you've got scraps like that around, you could probably find something that will actually fit on it. The next one I'm going to show you is another finish, and it was this one by Doreen Jones. I got this off her Etsy store. It is called Farm Animals Sampler. Now that is how it looks, and this is a fully finished project, and this is where, well, this is the finished project. You're not going to get a start picture of this. Well, you will, but it'll just be blank fabric because it was a new start for this year, and I did finish it. But I done 8,550 stitches, and of course it's 100% done. And I have just finished it on this wooden chopping block that I found, I think it was Big W, and then I've just padded that, put it around a bit of foam core, put some green lace around it and a little bit of gingham ribbon on the corners. And that is what it looks like. It is so cute. The partner wanted me to put googly eyes on the animals, and I did buy some googly eyes, but I haven't got them out to see if there's any small enough. I think they're still all way too big to put on them. Maybe not the pig, because the pig only has one and needs one eye. These two you'd need tiny, tiny. But then if you put really big ones, it'll look hilarious because they look like they were really shocked. But yeah, that is my finish, or my last finish for the year. I actually think I finished that one first. Moving on to the next one. And it is this one here. It is called Horse Portrait. It is from a company off eBay called Just Stitching. I don't know if there is an artist to it. This was a chart that was gifted to me, so don't blame me for it being maybe possibly unlicensed. It was gifted to me, I kitted it all up and then realised that it probably wasn't a licensed picture or licensed artwork, but because it was gifted to me in good faith, I'm going to stitch it anyway. And I've got a few others that were gifted to me at the same time, and I am going to stitch those ones as well because they were paid for and I have got them all kitted up, and that's just the way things work. But this is where I'm up to. So this one it's obviously a full coverage piece, but I am only doing the horse in full cross, and then the background I am doing in 10 stitch, just so I can get it done a little bit quicker, but you can't really notice any difference. It is being stitched on 16 count white Aida, and I got 7,850 stitches into this year for a total of 34.29%, which brings me to 9,825 stitches out of 26,650. Now, again, there is a discrepancy between how much I counted and how much markup RXP shows me how many stitches I've done because of all these half crosses. All those half crosses I count double to get the full stitch, because I have to, that's the way I have to count them for some of my games on Facebook. But yeah, that is where I'm up to. Sorry for the crinkles, but hopefully I can get some good stitching into this and get it near a completion by the end of the year. Alright, I'm back. Had to take a quick break. Rightio, my next project that I am going to show you is my Modern Folk embroidery cell, which is this one. This was the stitch along for 2024. It is called No Time Like the Present. I am not doing this colorway, I am doing another one which I'll put here if I've got it on the tablet. If not, you will see the colorway when I show you the project. But that's what it'll look like when it is completed. Now, I'm going to need to pop those two off. Yep. And this is where we're up to. You won't see, oh well, you will see a start photo and it'll just be blank fabric because, once again, this was a new start for this year. But this is where I've got up to. I was just going in the sections, so I was just going to do the sections as it was meant to be, but I got sick of that and decided that I could stitch it quicker, and I wasn't going to keep up with the sale anyway, and I could just stitch it quicker as I stitched however I liked. But this is the colorway that I'm using. Now it is being stitched on a 20 count Rustico, and I am using 832 and 322 as our main colours, and putting in diamond, DMC gold diamond in spots as just a little bit of pop of sparkle. As you can see, it's up here, in here, there's some down in here, but here the numbers are done in the sparkle as well. But that is how much I've stitched on it. And I got 10,900 stitches into it, which brought me to a total of 30.60%, and of course 10,900 stitches out of 35,596. Now I do have the 2023 stitch along, which is, what was it called? Can't remember. Anyway, I'm going to do it in the same colourway, so they're kind of matching. And I haven't got this in a project bag yet, I've still just got it in a Ziploc bag. And now I've got itchy nose. Oh my god. Alright. Last project for this year is not that one. This is also why I need to put new tags on my bags, because they've got the old tags from the finished project. Oops, that should have got back in that bag. What is that? Oh, throw that in there. This is Moon Wolf 1. It is from Light Unicorn Designs on Etsy. That is what it'll look like when it is completed. Now again, I am not stitching all that white background. No way. Nuh-uh. Not even, especially if you were using white fabric. You're silly enough to stitch all that white background. And even if you're using another coloured fabric, like I am, I wanted it to come through. So this is being stitched on a 16 count pink Aida. Now this fabric I bought from Elisa at Paddock Lane Designs. And this is what it is currently looking like. Now I've got 9,100 stitches into it. This is also a new start for this year. So start photo is just going to be a blank fabric. So I've got 9,100 stitches into it. My total, percentage total, is 86.63%. That's because I've gone through and marked off all the white stitches that I am not doing. I am doing some white stitches, which is here in the wolf. The wolf does have some white stitches. I wasn't going to, and then I thought it's going to look kind of funny if the wolf's pink. So my total stitch count is 26,683 out of 30,800. So really I've got less than 4,000 stitches on this to do, which I can easily do this year. Easy. So this is definitely going to be a finish for this year. Now that is all of my 21 projects for the year that I stitched on. As I said, the total stitch count was 200,000 and something. Just put all of my cover photos back in, and I'll just have to take out the ones that are the finishes. Put all them back in there. Alright, so and that is, they were all my projects for 2024. I'm going to run straight into plans, I think, because that goes into my couple of new starts. So plans are, I'm going to stick with what I'd done last year, which is have 21 projects and draw 7 out and stitch on those 7 over 2 weeks. I found that worked really well for me. I could work out how many days I stitched on each project. Ideally, each project would get 2 days, but if I've got to work a night or something like that, or a function, a personal thing comes up, I'm not going to stitch. But I can just work out how many days I can stitch on each project. So 21 projects, I will draw 7 projects a day, 7 projects a fortnight. So I will draw some projects at the end of this video to see what I will stitch on for the next week and a half. Because it is Wednesday, I'll still draw 7 projects. It just means a couple of them may only get stitched on for one day. But that means that because I've finished 3 projects, I get to start 3 projects. Now, the first new project is going to be haven't eliminated this yet, is Legal High by Long Dog Samplers. Now, if you are a regular viewer, you will remember that I done a video asking viewers to choose I've got the fan on because it's hot and it's blowing everything around. I did do a video asking viewers to help me choose what long dog I wanted to start, and this was the one that came up. So, Legal High it is. No, that is Autumn Blessing. Not that one. This one. So, this one, throwing things out around now. So Legal High, it is going to be stitched on 18 count fabric that I dyed myself using a coffee dye. So it's a very light colour. It's nearly vintage country mocha colour. It's a very light coffee colour, and I am going to be using Silks for You in 3 different colours. There we go. So I'm going to be using 3 different Silks for You colours on it. Main colour is going to be PR151. So that is the majority of the stitching that is going to be done is in the dark. Then the next amount of stitches will be done in the 192. And then I will just be using 149 as little sort of pops here and there just to break up the colour. So that is my first new start. My next one is going to be this one. I haven't laminated this either. Judy, an Aussie in a Kiwi world, sent me the paper pattern. It was out of a magazine from quite a while ago. And she knows how much I love wools, and she sent me the pattern. It was the World of Cross Stitching magazine. It doesn't have a date on it though, so I can't say what month it was from, but they are 2 separate little wolf patterns. They are by Doreen Jones. I am going to do them on the one piece of fabric, like one on top of the other. So that is my second new start for the year. Now, being a paper pattern, obviously it's not going to go into Pattern Keeper easy. So that's why I have Markup RXP. I just scanned it on my printer and loaded it into Markup, and I just had to adjust the grids a little bit. Easy done. It doesn't really show you the colours and that, but that's alright because I've got the paper pattern to refer to. Easy. I can read the pattern, I can mark it off, and that's all I really need to do. It counts my stitches. Done. And it'll tell me my percentage and what haven't you, and that's all I really need it to do. So I do have both applications. I have Pattern Keeper. I use Pattern Keeper for majority. If I have trouble loading anything into Pattern Keeper, I will use Markup RXP for it. And this, I'm just going to be stitching it on, what did I write down? Because I did write down what? 16 count. I'm going to be stitching it on 16 count. Just white 8 up. And they're only small, they're only tiny little patterns, so, but they've still got like 4,000 or 5,000 stitches each into them, so hopefully I can get them both done this year. Alright. And my third new, well actually I've got 4 new starts, and I just did put that out. Okay, my third new start is going to be this one. It's called Autumn Blessing, and it is by Shannon Christine Designs. And that is what it's going to look like. The fabric here is a bit more beigey, whereas the fabric that I dyed, I'm doing it on 18 count. I dyed the fabric myself, and it's more of this tanny sort of colour. I do have to serge the edges of it too before I get around to stitching on it. But I am using all DMC because there was only 14 colours, so I just went to Spotlight and picked them up. So that is the third new start that I am doing. The fourth one is going to be, and I mentioned it earlier, is the cross stitch for everyone sale for this year. It is called To Catch a Dream. And I'm trying to remember what folder I put it into. I think it was this one. There we go. So that is the cover photo for it, but that is not what it's being stitched as. It's just a cover photo for it because it is a mystery sale. And we get 2 pages a month, one on the 1st, one on the 15th. It is on black. There is a lot of black stitching, so I have chosen to do it on 18 count black fabric because I am not doing 140 odd thousand stitches in black. I'm not doing it. So I've just chosen to go with 18 count black fabric, and it's only small. I think it's like 279 by 296, so it's only sort of tiny. So they are my 4 new, that's it here in one of my bags. This is one of the bags that I've done with a thicker what's that stuff called in the middle of it, and I really don't like them because it's too thick. So that's my fabric. I bought it from Temu. They come like this. It was only about $5 for the piece of fabric. It is very stiff, but I do, and it's way bigger than what I need it to be. Yes, way bigger than what I need it to be. But I am going to wash it and serge it before I start working on the project. And I am just buying the floss for each page as it comes up. That's floss that I already had, that I just pulled for it, and that's spare floss that I already had in my stash that I pulled for it this morning. I've still got a couple to buy for the first page, but I'm just going to buy any floss that I don't have for it as it comes up. So that is the fourth start. The other cross stitch, the outer Venusel, is going to be put aside for a little while. Now, the plans that I have, as I said, I am sticking to 21 projects, 7 projects a fortnight. My goals for this year are, I know I was saying that I would probably up the stitch total for my full coverage projects, but looking at my board from last year, I just managed to get the 10,000 stitches into each of them, so I'm sticking to 10,000 stitches for my full coverage projects. Now I've wiped these off and wrote them again all out last night, which pretty much didn't change except for this one, which is your cross stitch for everyone sale 2025. And I wrote the names of them in permanent marker, so they won't rub off this time. Now, my small full coverage and my non-full coverage pieces, I had 5,000 for each of them last year, and I blew that out of the water, so then I went to 7,500. And so this year I am going to start at 7,500 stitches for each of them. Again, I cleaned this off here last night. I've put in the new ones, Two Wolves, Autumn Blessing and Legal High, which I might have to rub that out and rewrite it because that pen did not work properly. But they are my clean boards to start the year fresh. Now, what I'm going to do to make myself accountable for reaching those goals is this year I've got a, what do you call this thing? Money box. That's what it is. Got myself a money box. Now for each goal that gets reached, I'm putting $10 into the money box. So that means for each 7,500 stitches that gets done on the small full coverages and non-full coverages, $10 gets put in. As soon as I reach 10,000 for my full coverages, $10 gets put in. If I get any finishes before I reach my 7,500, I will still put $10 in because it's a finish. If I reach my 7,500, the $10 goes in. But then if I finish it not long after reaching the 7,500, I will put another $10 in. And we will see how much I have got in here at the end of next year. And I am planning on using that money to kit up a chatelaine. Now, I know chatelaines are very expensive to kit up, and Gloriana silks are very hard to come by at times. So what I'm going to do is I am going to sub out the Glorianas. I will probably contact Joe at Silks For You with the list of the Glorianas when I decide which pattern I'm doing, with the list of the Glorianas, and see if they can either match them with something they've got in stock or just dye me some special dyed silks to match the colour. So that's what I'm going to do, is just sub out the Glorianas, because I know they are very hard to come by, and you could be waiting for months, if not 12 months, to get the silks. But yeah, that is, we'll see how much I've got in that by the end of the year. It's just to keep me motivated to get to those goals. And $10 a goal I don't think is too much to ask. And I did get that idea from Emily, Crafty Emily. She's doing a similar thing. She's got her Wip Go. She's got her little tree with all the Wip Go projects in it per month, and she said when she finishes each goal, she's going to put, I think she said £6 into the little boxes, and so each box will be £12 for her, and by the end of the year she's going to buy herself a couple of Gecko Rouge kits, I think she said. But yeah, so I got that idea from Emily. If anyone wants to take that idea on themselves, you're quite welcome. Take it and run with it. Do with it as you will. It is just a little incentive to keep yourself going and getting those stitches in. So that is my plans. Well, so for the moment anyway. Oh, the other thing is, I was saying that if I finished anything in the first 3 months of the year, I would probably put in another new start, but I have decided against that because I do want to get some more stitches into my full coverages. So if I finish any projects, I am not going to start any new projects regardless of when I finish them in the year. That way I can put some extra days into my full coverage projects and maybe get some extra stitches. Now, going back to my boards, if I do manage to get the 7,500 into the small full coverages and non-full coverages in a reasonable time period, say within the first 6 or 8 months of the year, I will up that goal to 10,000 stitches for those ones. And that means that if I reach that 10,000 goal, another $10 will go in for that goal as well. So I could end up with a decent kitty by the end of the year. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. I am not going to sub in any new starts if I finish anything within the first 3 or 4 months of this year. I am just going to roll with it, and as much as I would like to, there's some projects in my stash that I would really like to start, but I really want to get some decent progress into my full coverages. The only thing that I might do that is if I finish 3 or 4 projects, I might bring the Out of the Savannah project back in, but we will see how we're going, just so I can get some more stitches into it. But we'll see how we're going at that. So that's my plans. I don't think there's really much else. I do have to draw my projects that I'm going to stitch on for the next week and a half, but just for a bit of interest, these are all my orts from the 12 months. And you can see all the different colours that I've used, the bit of étoile in there, the diamond. It's a mixture of colours and floss. So you can see the satiny floss from the stamped kit. And yeah, lots and lots of different, just for a little bit of interest. That'll go straight into the bin now that I've shown you that. Alright, almost to the end, guys. It's going to be just over an hour and a half. This here is an hour and a half, and then the first little bit that I done was about 10 minutes. So, alright, let me see what projects I am going to pull out pencil here? Yes, I do. But I don't have my new diary. It's alright. I'll just write them on this one and then I can transfer them over to my new diary. Oh, actually, before I do that, I am playing quite a few games again on Facebook. So I'm still playing Hell's Stitchin'. It's like a cooking, kitchen-based game where we run our restaurant, and Holly gives us orders, or we have, it's not always orders, it's events and stuff, and you earn money to buy more recipes and stuff like that. It's a four-person team. Currently there is no openings for new teams because Holly's trying to work out how to make it fair for them, because the rest of us teams are so far ahead in our recipes. Like, you got the new teams that only be starting with a certain amount. So there's that one. I am heading a team in Full Coverage Fanatics for the Stitch to the Moon. It can be an individual event or a team event. It is 268,000 stitches for the year or something like that. So I'm heading a team. There's, I think, about 8 of us in the team. And I've broke it down. I think it's like 20,000 stitches each. Not each. 20,000 stitches as a team that we have to do a month to reach the goal. And it's just going to be very, I'm not going to be a Nazi about it. I'm just going to run it very easily, and you do whatever stitches you can do. The rest of us will make them up as we go. So I'm doing that one as well. I'm doing a few of the other events in Full Coverage Fanatics as well. And then I am doing the Fun with Cross Stitch Safari. That's been running for 3 or 4 months now. You can join that one anytime. Just remember, you have to be a member of the Fun with Cross Stitch Facebook group to join the safari. That's just where you stitch your base camp items, and then you can go and stitch for animals. There's 3 levels at the moment. Once everyone is fairly along in that, I'm not sure what Sharon and the other admins are going to do, but we will see. And it's just, just stitch at your own pace type of a thing. There's no pushing, there's no shoving, that you have to get a certain amount of stitches done by a certain time. The other one is Fun with Cross Stitch Holiday. It looks like it's going to be fun. Once again, there is no pressure in that one. You just stitch the routes as you can. There is levels. There's about 5 levels in it. I've taken the extreme level or expert level, whatever it is, because I'm crazy like that. But yeah, I will. That one, you have to be a member of the Fun with Cross Stitch Facebook group as well to take part in it. So that's where we're travelling around Australia at the moment with that one. Starting today, we start in the Northern Territory, I think. I haven't actually checked out the itinerary that they've posted, but yes, there is that one. And it's just stitch at your own pace. You're not forced to have stitches done or be at a certain place by a certain date or anything like that. You just stitch and travel as you like. And I'm also in the Wip Warriors. I am still doing the Aussie road trip. So yeah, it's actually closed for any new Wip Warriors, and the road trip are closed for any new members now. So yeah, that's so that one is no good for anyone looking to join. So yeah, they're the ones that I'm doing. So I have to be on top of what I am posting when I'm posting this year. Alright, so I am just going to choose my 7 projects, and we will get this. I'll start getting this edited and uploaded. What are we? We have Protector. mini top frog. Shaped wolf. Daydream sea turtles. Ooh. Autumn blessings. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more. Tiger lily. And one more. Let's see if it's another full coverage. Wild. Alright, so that's 7. And lucky I don't have to go back to work till next Wednesday the 8th, because there is 5 full coverages in that one, which means that I can get probably a decent bit of stitching into some of those. Alright, there's a little bag. Oh, there it is. Put them in there. And here we go, and again for another 12 months. Alright guys, so thank you very much for tuning in and watching my Wip Parade. I know there is a lot out there. As I said, it is Wip Parade season, and we are going to get bombarded in the next probably 2 to 4 weeks with everyone's Wip Parades. I know some have already filmed their Wip Parades back in December, like Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter, she done hers. There's a few that filmed them back before Christmas, but we are going to get absolutely bombarded by Wip Parades. So I am very grateful that you have taken your time to watch mine and spend a little bit of time with me and check out all my projects and the plans that I have for 2025. So yeah, thank you very much. If you are new, I hope you enjoyed seeing my projects and the progress that I got on them this year. And I hope that you stick around to see the progress that I intend and hope to get on them for, well, what I got on them last year, and hope to get on them this year for 2025. Very much appreciated, guys. I will do my floss tube on the, let me see, so today's the 1st. If I go on, I think it'll be the 13th, because I should have done one on the 30th. I should have done my floss tube on the 30th, but I left it to today because I wanted to do my Wip Parade instead. So 30th, yeah, it'll be the 13th of January will be my floss tube. Alright guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Wherever you are in the world, please take care and stay safe, and until I see you next time, bye.